Hey guys, Shane from Behold Gamers here. Today I wanted to show off the online setup that I've created to play D&D with people virtually. A lot of this was bought with money that I've made as a dungeon master playing online virtually. So I'm very proud of this and I wanted to show it to you guys today and give you a few tips on how I came to the decisions to use these products that I'm using now. And in a future video, I'm hoping that I can show you some price points broken down in 3 different tiers, how you can set up your own virtual D&D rig right at your own home. So first things first, the most important thing when you're playing D&D online is going to be sound. I've actually played music in a previous life. I did a lot of my own recordings and things like that. So I've had for years a condenser mic that I use for this online setup. I also have a USB hub that allows me to control inputs and gain going into my computer before it ever hits any software. So I'm very much an old school sound type of person, very analog when it comes to sound. So being able to control that before anything hits the computer is very much my style. It's a very simple USB setup with only 2 inputs. Since I'm only using a condenser mic, I only use the 1 input for that when I play online. If you're something like a video game streamer, you've probably seen lots of videos and tips on how sound is the most important quality when you're streaming. Same goes for virtual D&D. Sound is going to be the one thing that really helps you engage with your other players and Dungeon Master while you're in the virtual environment. And since I Dungeon Master professionally for other people online, it's even more important for someone like me because I need to make sure that my players who have put money into this game get the best possible experience, and the easiest way to ensure that is that you have great sound quality that they can clearly understand the whole game through. And so my microphone, I'm very proud of it here. It's an old Groove Tubes GT55 microphone. It's not the newest thing that's out there, but it's a tried and true product that I've always loved and I've always used. I would love to have put a link in the description, but this mic is so old that they don't even, I don't think they even make it anymore. But I have it mounted on a shock mount right here on my desk, which actually brings up another important point, is my setup needs to be able to be broken down. I'm not a very big video game streamer, so I don't have a specific setup that I use to create online content. I actually, when I make these videos and when I play D&D online, I need to be able to set up and break down my equipment very quickly. And so everything that I use is very easy to take apart and break down and put away when I need to. Next thing in my setup is lighting. I have a single key light that I use, an example of which is right here. The one that I use is actually up above me right now, giving light for this video. But this was just a really simple purchase on Amazon. Because I'm not using multiple angles, I don't need multiple lights or bigger lights than what I've got right here. A very simple product. Lighting actually will make any camera stand out that much more for your players when they're watching you on your virtual environment. Next up is my camera. I use a Canon EOS M200, which gives nice picture quality. That's what I'm using right here. But for a long time, I was using my built-in webcam on my computer. It's a FaceTime cam because I use a Mac. I even started using my phone to be my webcam using the Epic Cam app that you can get from Elgato. Speaking of Elgato, I use the Elgato Stream Deck to make it a lot easier for me to input commands in my Discord server. I use Discord for my online games, and I use D&D Beyond and the integrations that you can use with the AvreBot to link up my D&D Beyond and Discord content all in one place. I've also recently started using Above VTT. Before that, I was using Owlbear Rodeo for my online D&D games, as far as creating a virtual tabletop environment with a map, fog of war, tokens, and things like that. But recently I've switched over to Above VTT just because of how easy it is to use, and it takes one less window for me to open up while I'm playing my virtual games. So how many windows do I have open when I'm running my online games? When I was using Owlbear Rodeo, I had to have at least 2 browser windows open, one for Owlbear Rodeo itself, another with all of my D&D Beyond resources. I would have all of my character sheets loaded up on separate browser tabs. I would have a page that I would go to when I needed to quickly look something up. But now with Above VTT, I can actually have all of my players listed. I can search monsters, I can search spells. There's still a browser window that I keep open for doing other sorts of quick searches and things like that. But for the most part, using Above VTT has limited how much I actually need to access on browser windows on my desktop. Because I also use Discord, I need to have the Discord server up and open so I can have access to my video and voice chat, and I can look at the log and chat on my Discord server. So with that many windows open, obviously I have a 2-screen setup. I have my main computer screen open, and I have a smaller display down below. So that helps me keep track of all of the browser windows, and I don't need to go through different tabs on my one computer screen. I can actually quickly and easily move around with the mouse cursor and open up different windows and keep track of all of the different things that are going on. As a paid dungeon master for those games that I'm charging for, it makes it a lot quicker for the players to get the most enjoyment out of the game that they have put money into, so it helps me give them the best possible experience. The one thing I found that I still need when I play D&D online that I use in my games when I'm in person is a notebook, though. The most important tool that you have, pen and paper, still does not change the fact that you need pen and paper to play D&D online. I still all the time am using my pen and paper to write down notes and things like that while we're playing these games. A lot of virtual tools out there, but nothing can beat the old-fashioned pen and paper in a pen and paper game like Dungeons and Dragons. But thank you guys very much for checking out today's video. If you found it useful, be sure to leave a like down there below. Subscribe to the channel to get more updated content from Behold Gamers. We also started doing live streaming recently. As I start to go back to my local game store to play in person, I'm going to be showing off some of what I use as far as DM tools for that. Things like my custom dice box that I've made, and how I use my iPad to manage all of my D&D Beyond content sitting down at the table in person so that I don't have to carry around all of my heavy books that I've collected over the years. So thank you guys again, and as always, have fun, learn lots. Oh, man! Oh! Okay, critical hit. Critical hit.
Also, I'm carrying these Nagi two-handed.
Okay.
So it does a D10 plus 4 instead of the usual D8 plus 4. There's my D10 already. But
those things you have to tell me beforehand, by the way, but I'll let it slide.